Chapter 84 Separation and Level 6 Beast Fire. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 84 Separation and Level Beast Fire. Raising his hand to take the scroll, Lin Feng took a closer look and saw that it was the Xian level intermediate movement technique called Explosive Step. As the name suggests, this is a physical fighting technique that relies on the momentum of energy explosions to increase speed. After flipping through it for a moment, Lin Feng put the scroll into the ring and chuckled. This is exactly what I want, so you're welcome. What he is going to now is the most chaotic place in the northwest continent. Naturally, the higher the level of this life-saving thing, the better. By the way, turn around. At this time, Yun thought of something and said to Lin Feng. Okay. Although Lin Feng didn't know what she was going to do, he still followed her words. Looking at Lin Feng's back, Yun reached behind her and started to unbutton it. Lin Feng, on the other hand, heard a rustling sound coming from behind him. You can turn around now. Hearing the clear voice coming from behind, Lin Feng turned around and looked at Yun again. Yun held the folded metal inner armor with both hands and said softly to the young man in front of her, "This Heart of the Sea armor is made of a strange metal produced in the belly of the sixth-order sea monster, the three-tailed blue whale. Its defense power depends on the strength of its owner. Although you are only a fighting master now, the ordinary attacks of the great fighting master cannot easily hurt you. Help me a few times, and this is my reward for you." Taking the warm light blue inner armor, Lin Feng said with some embarrassment, "You keep giving me things, why do you feel like I'm a pretty boy being taken care of by you?" Hearing this, Yun's almost perfect little face instantly turned crimson, and she said angrily, "You guy, a dog's mouth can't spit out ivory. I've been out for so long, and if I don't go back, the sect will probably be in chaos. If you want to come to me, just take this token and come to Yunlan sect." Yun looked at the sun that had unknowingly reached the top of her head. She spread her fighting spirit wings and flew towards the sky. At the same time, the jade hand was thrown back, and a green jade tablet shot towards Lin Feng. "Anyway, I've seen it and touched it. When I get stronger, how about I just take this jade token and go to Yunlan sect to propose marriage?" After catching the object, Lin Feng made a trumpet shape with his hands near his mouth and shouted loudly in the direction Yun left. Yun, who was high up in the sky, softened when she heard these shy things, and her altitude dropped uncontrollably to a little above the jungle. He turned his head and shouted softly behind him, "How dare you come and try it?" Well, women usually speak in irony, so it seems like this is done. Seeing Yun leave, Xiao Kai immediately got out of Lin Feng and asked for the purple ball from before. "You little guy, here you go." Lin Feng chuckled, quickly took out the ball and threw it into the air. Seeing her baby, Xiao Kai disappeared in place with a whoosh sound, then it appeared inside the ball, licking the remaining amethyst source wantonly. "Xiao Kai, let's go. We have to cross the Warcraft mountain range to reach Ling City. It's up to you to deal with the Warcraft behind." As he spoke, Lin Feng spread his wings and shot out in the target direction. The purple ball next to him was also under the control of Xiao Kai, following him closely. Ling City is located in the northwest province of the Gama Empire. Although its size is smaller than that of the big cities in Bushindu, it is still considered a strong second-tier city in the Gama Empire. Moreover, because it is adjacent to the Warcraft Mountains that spans almost half of the empire. Therefore, countless adventurers and business groups come and go, injecting a steady stream of popularity into the city. At the north gate of Ling City, the flow of people coming and going almost blocked the gate. The large number of people made it extremely difficult to enter and exit the city gate, because not far away from the north gate is the endless Warcraft mountain range. Therefore, the flow of people coming and going are also mercenary teams. They are in 2s and 3s, with different lineups, just like ants moving, constantly moving in and out here. Lin Feng, as for Lin Feng, happened to be walking out of the Warcraft mountains at this time, holding in his hand a reward order for Feng Lin. The He family is really generous. As long as I provide my current specific location, I can choose between Xian-level advanced techniques and 2 4th-grade elixirs. Looking at the reward order issued by a He family member just after leaving the Warcraft mountains, I sneered secretly in my heart. Sure enough, there are other people who know about He coming to ambush me. Fortunately, I just gave up Feng Lin's identity to avoid running away, otherwise I would be in trouble. Thinking of this, Lin Feng looked at the city gate not far away. He no longer used his identity as an alchemist, but lined up behind the team entering the city. After entering the city, Lin Feng thought about it and found an inn to stay. When he came to the room, Lin Feng took out a small jade bottle, uncorked it, and a warm and cool fragrance wafted out. "Shao Kai, it's time to eat." Following this shout, the sky-swallowing python quickly left Lin Feng's wrist and ran to the jade bottle, then he stuck his little head in and sucked the companion source inside. Lin Feng watched this scene with a smile, and did not restrict its food intake, letting it drink heavily. After all, during the past few days across the Warcraft Mountains, this little guy was scaring away low-level Warcraft and guiding him to avoid high-level Warcraft. Now, of course, I want to let it have a good meal. When Shao Kai was full, Lin Feng took back the 1/5 of the missing companion energy into the ring, then he sat cross-legged, closed his eyes, and slowly sank into his body, reaching the 5th level beast fire in his body. Under the control of his mind, the cyclone in his lower abdomen suddenly began to rotate at high speed. As the rotation intensified, the animal fires within the cyclone were thrown out in clusters, hovering outside the cyclone. After cleaning it up, Lin Feng absorbed all the thrown beast fire together, and finally turned it into a complete fire. Just when the beast fire was unconsciously preparing to hit the cyclone, within the cyclone, surging crimson fighting energy surged out overwhelmingly, surrounding the beast fire. Then under the control of Lin Feng's mind, he pulled it and began to leave the body along the meridians. After a while, Lin Feng quickly took out a jade bottle and put his finger into it. Then, a pale yellow animal fire suddenly burst out from the finger and entered the jade bottle. When the fire completely left the body, Lin Feng hurriedly left the jade bottle with his fingers, inserted the stopper, and put it into the ring. Beast fire is different from strange fire. After being absorbed and taken out again, its owner will not be harmed, so after taking it out, Lin Feng just paused for a while, and then took out another jade bottle. It contained a few drops of the accompanying source that he had prepared to neutralize most of the violent factors. The purpose is to use it for himself to obtain the purple fire from the companion source. However, for the few drops in his hand, he failed several times and wasted more than 10 drops before he succeeded. But as long as you can get that 6th level beast fire, everything will be worth it. Taking a deep breath, Lin Feng turned his mouth to the jade bottle and suffocated. As the companion source entered his body, he could feel that his body was getting hotter and hotter. Wave after wave of purple energy seeped out from all the meridians, and then gradually merged into the bones and flesh. Lin Feng also hurriedly controlled the cyclone to rotate at high speed, absorbing the thick purple energy in his body into his meridians. Then, after refining the skills, it is transformed into pure fighting energy that can be absorbed. As time passed by, although Lin Feng was working hard to refine and absorb, but the purple energy in his body is still increasing. This also caused Lin Feng's skin to gradually turn purple. His face also became a little painful because of the swelling and pain in his meridians. The purple energy in his body, because it was too strong, seemed to be turning into black. At this moment, a violent tremor suddenly came from the deep purple energy surface. Then, wisps of violent purple flames actually rose from the energy. Seeing this scene, Lin Feng showed a smile on his face. Now that the purple fire has appeared, as long as it is absorbed, it will be a success. As he continued to absorb energy, Lin Feng's fighting spirit level also began to rise rapidly. After a while, he was promoted from a 5-star fighter to a 6-star fighter. Then there are 7 stars and 8 stars. It cannot continue like this. It must be suppressed. When Lin Feng saw this, he hurriedly lowered his fighting spirit level. In an instant, he fell from 8 stars back to 7 stars. As the Dou Qi level was reduced to 6 stars, the energy in the body suddenly began to rebound. It unexpectedly reached the 7-star realm again, and Lin Feng continued to press down. After several such confrontations, Lin Feng's fighting spirit level finally stayed at the 6-star fighting master. However, judging from the fullness of the Dou Qi cyclone, there is only a thin line between him and the 7-star Dou master. It is estimated that a breakthrough will be achieved within a few days. After all the energy from the companion source was absorbed, a ball of slightly light purple flame curled up inside Lin Feng's body. This time, the purple flame was obviously much tamer than before. From the looks of it, it could be safely absorbed by him. looking at the light purple flame. Lin Feng exhaled slightly. Immediately, he wrapped the light purple flame with fighting spirit and approached the slowly rotating cyclone in his lower abdomen. Under Lin Feng's mental gaze, the light purple flames quickly passed through several meridians, and then projected directly into the cyclone. The light purple flame had just entered the cyclone, and the speed of the cyclone's rotation suddenly accelerated a lot at this moment. Wisps of light purple flames continue to rotate along with the rotation of the cyclone, and then are separated from it and integrated into the cyclone. As the last ray of purple fire melted into the cyclone, Lin Feng slowly opened his eyes. In his eyes, a flash of purple light flashed and then disappeared. Come out. Lin Feng's mind moved, and then, a tiny purple flame slowly rose from above his finger. When he saw this weak flame, he couldn't help but grinned and said, "Now we just need to refine this purple fire into fire, and we're done." Chapter 85 Leaving Gama. You are listening at novelfull.audio. With a chuckle, Lin Feng decided to work hard and finish the matter of refining the fire. The mind sank into the body again, it circled around the body along the meridians, and finally came out of the cyclone in the lower abdomen. The volume of the Dou Qi cyclone at this time is much smaller than before, but even though the size has become smaller, you can still notice it if you look carefully. Now the fighting spirit contained in the cyclone is thicker and more concentrated. My mind circled the cyclone, and then slowly got into it. At the same time, Lin Feng's soul perception continued to echo the purple flame that he had summoned previously. As Lin Feng carefully scanned the cyclone, after a while, a small wisp of purple energy finally appeared faintly. Even some fighting kings will find it very difficult to be attacked by a large number of such crossbows. These must be the relics of strong human beings collected by the amethyst-winged lion king during his long life, as well as various random items obtained in the Warcraft mountains. But unlike normal scrolls, this thing is not made of Warcraft skin. The material is rather like copper, and various mysterious and complex patterns are artificially carved on it. And at the location where the cyclone connected with the central hollow, Lin Feng could find that wisps of fire attribute fighting energy were continuously running out of the cyclone, and then poured into the purple flame in the hollow. Looking at the large number of high-level magic cores and the light emitted by precious medicinal materials in front of him, Lin Feng couldn't help but murmur, in the Black Corner domain, there are no legal constraints, there is only one law, the law of the jungle. Stretch out your palm and rub it gently between your fingers, followed by a crisp sound. Hehe, not only are there no shortage of prescriptions for the 4th level realm, but even if you want to advance to the 5th level alchemist later, you can still have prescriptions to learn. After saying that, Lin Feng thought about the origin of this thing and thought to himself, since the amethyst-winged lion king will collect this thing, he must have studied it. Even the powerful strength of the 6th order monster can't shake it, so whoever made this thing, the person's strength must be at least a high-level dozone. It was then forcibly rolled into a scroll by a powerful force. Thinking of this, Lin Feng carefully put away the copper scroll. A small wisp of purple flame shot out from Lin Feng's fingertips. He needs to store this purple flame in the cyclone when a hole appears in the middle due to full speed rotation. Under his control, all the precious items in Anaji poured to the ground. Since they are all personally selected and collected by level 6 Warcraft, the quality is quite high. This thing should be said to be a scroll. Seeing this young flame, he said to himself, it seems that it will have to be cultivated with the accompanying amethyst source for a period of time in the future. The current power is only a little stronger than the previous 5th level beast fire. Outside the fortress, head east, passing through some small countries and tribes along the way, and you will be able to enter that special area that is famous throughout the continent, the Black Corner region. There, due to the special terrain, it has almost become the most chaotic area in the northwest continent. After all, the ingredients for 6th grade elixirs are difficult to find. Then he bounced on the ground several times before he stabilized his body. After a while, under Lin Feng's mental observation, the transformation began. What's more, it's the medicinal materials used in such unorthodox prescriptions. After collecting the Qinglu flowers, Lin Feng continued to sort out other medicinal materials. This is Qinglu Hua. As soon as the purple energy appeared, Lin Feng quickly controlled his mind and wrapped it up like lightning. If some women saw it, they would probably not be able to put it down. Moreover, Lin Feng could feel that the beautiful glazed beads contained extremely strong energy. there should be nothing to say about the speed with which he collected medicinal materials. This is really the first time I have seen so many 5th-level magic cores. I really don't know how long it took the Amethyst-Winged Lion King to collect such a large number. It should be for the little Amethyst-Winged Lion. It will be used for promotion in the future. It seems like this thing is extraordinary. It's done. Picking up a Na ring that looked quite good, Lin Feng inspected it for a moment and said with some surprise, "I didn't expect there was a 4th-grade alchemist's Na ring in it." However, considering that there are a large number of valuable rare plants in the Warcraft Mountains, it seems normal for alchemists to enter them. After a while, Lin Feng successfully walked out of the Gama Empire after being verified by border officers. Lin Feng, who was not far away from the explosion, was directly blown away for more than 10 meters. Now that I have time, I naturally want to sort it out. In other words, that is, the weak eat the strong. It is indeed a fortress guarding the border. The scale of this ghost gate is really staggering. It is far beyond the comparison of those cities in the Empire. Dig out their demonic cores one by one, and take out all those with animal fire in their bodies. The continuous high-speed rotation has caused a little hollow area to appear in the center of the cyclone. As a fighting master, he was so strong that there was no way he could break an ordinary thin piece of copper. After all, in that battlefield meat grinder, it would not be surprising if a team of several hundred people could be wiped out by one mistake. Unless this thing is not an ordinary copper piece. Lin Feng stood at the back of the exit team, and when he was only 100 meters away from the city wall, Lin Feng narrowed his eyes and glanced at the empty space on the city wall. After doing this, Lin Feng began to rest. The purple flame trembled fiercely, and then starting from the inner flame, it gradually transformed into a rich deep purple flame. In a dense jungle that was originally peaceful, there was a sudden explosion like thunder, which scared all the animals around and fled in all directions. Looking at the copper scroll, Lin Feng tried to break it a few times, but found that he could not unfold it with enough strength. That is, in a war, helping a certain party can get huge rewards. Hey, what is this thing? Countless strong men who fled from various countries landed here and established the most barbaric rules. After grabbing the purple flame, Lin Feng began to quickly activate the Dou Qi cyclone to start spinning at full speed. After playing with it for a while, Lin Feng guessed that this thing should have been a piece of copper as big as 2 palms. Judging from the uniform costumes of these people, they seem to belong to the same mercenary group. This kind of mercenary group of about 100 people can be regarded as about medium-sized in the Gama Empire. Because Xingue Pass is close to the border, the chaotic atmosphere here is very popular with some mercenary groups. Then he took out the corpses of the monsters that Yun Yun had killed in the Monster Mountains. Although he raised the shield made of Gut's black rock wall when the explosion came, he was still dizzy by the bursting heat wave. Packed them up separately, then put them into the ring and store them away. With the efforts of the mind to maintain, the cyclone finally slowly calmed down. Although it can't be opened now, when it becomes stronger in the future, maybe we can know what is inside. As the hollow area at the center of the cyclone becomes wider and wider, this also made Lin Feng unable to stop smiling. These Najis should be left behind by the Amethyst-Winged Lion King after he killed a strong human being. After resting for a while, Lin Feng took out the ring containing the collection of the Amethyst-Winged Lion King. All kinds of people keep pouring in, making it seem like a small miniature version of the mainland. They don't like to take the stable route of hunting monsters, but are more willing to join the legendary war mercenary group. That kind of fluctuation is somewhat similar to Blue Star's radar, which can search for targets in the air through reflection. But the most important thing is that this herb is also one of the materials needed to refine the spirit fusion pill. Looking at the dozen or so 5th-level magic cores beside him, Lin Feng's lips burst into laughter. As long as you are spotted by this energy wave while flying above, you will immediately be attacked by the special metal crossbows equipped by the army above the city wall. As soon as the purple flame entered the hollow, Lin Feng felt the entire cyclone tremble violently, causing him to quickly mobilize his mind again to stabilize the cyclone. After traveling all morning, Lin Feng looked at the towering city wall like a hill in front of him and marveled. This situation made Lin Feng's curiosity reach a new level. When more and more fire attribute fighting energy was poured into it, the purple flame suddenly roared slightly. I saw that the color of the purple flame was getting darker and darker, and when its color deepened to a certain point, although the reward is very high, the risk is also extremely high. He has already collected 2 of the 4 main ingredients for the fusion spirit pill. After stopping his body, Lin Feng felt that there were many pieces of vegetation in his mouth, and he hurriedly spit it out, then shook his dizzy head. Then he found a secret place and used his purple cloud wings to fly towards the east. There seemed to be faint invisible energy fluctuations. Seeing the fire appear, Lin Feng felt happy. Oh, that he was deep in the Warcraft Mountains before, and there were too many high-level Warcraft, and he never dared to release them to sort them out. After carefully inspecting all the items inside, Lin Feng put the ring away in surprise. Lin Feng looked at the last object on the ground, picked it up, and fiddled with it in confusion. In addition, he and the little medical fairy obtained the 8 tombs demonic needle fruit in the valley last year. Lin Feng carefully picked up a seemingly inconspicuous blue flower from among the many medicinal materials. Although this little flower is not impressive in appearance, there are several shining glazed balls in its core, which is quite eye-catching. With these, wait until next time Medusa comes out. After collecting the medicinal materials, there are still some Najis and other sundries left on the ground. It is indeed a collection of 6th-level monsters. Then he took out the scroll that was carefully stored deep in the Neji by the 4th-grade alchemist, and looked at the small words on it. 5th-grade prescription, Fengxing Dan. On the Lus Avenue, a large team of about 100 people was galloping toward the huge fortress at the end of the line of sight, with loud shouts of curses rising along the way. The 4th-grade prescriptions in Neji were all things he urgently needed. When the area was about the size of a fist, Lin Feng slowly wrapped the ray of purple flame in his mind, passed through the surrounding grudge blockade, and finally got into the small hollow area. Looking at the scroll in his hand, Lin Feng smiled softly and immediately put it into the ring. With the power of these 2 third-level beast fire explosions, if the great fighting master cannot escape in time, he will probably suffer a lot of injuries. If he uses the 4th level, I am afraid that even if some low-level fighting spirits are hit by the explosion, the end will not be too bad. Good. Putting down the deformed black basalt shield, Lin Feng's arms continued to feel pain due to the huge force just now, but his face was full of excitement. Thank you all for your monthly votes and recommendation votes. In addition, Chapter 76 has been released. Chapter 86 Taking 3 Patterns of Green Pill. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 86 Taking the 3 Patterns Green Spirit Pill. The explosion just now was a fighting skill that he had experimented with for a long time. Its attack method is somewhat similar to Xiaoyan's Buddha's Angry Fire Lotus in the original novel. However, Lin Feng's thing was far inferior to the Buddha's Wrathful Lotus. His idea is, since 2 strange fires or animal fires will explode due to repulsive force when they come together, why not use this explosion to kill the enemy? Of course, since the enemies are not mentally retarded, they will definitely know the danger and run away if they see you trying to explode the 2 flames. Therefore, in the actual battle, he could only blow up the 2 flames after touching his face. In this way, the enemy will not be given time to escape. However, Lin Feng didn't have Fenju's unique fighting spirit to neutralize and control it, so he couldn't control the 2 beast fires after they collided, although he had the advantage of foresight. He also didn't have much time to escape. This also means that Lin Feng is competing with the enemy to see who has the longer health bar, see who can withstand the damage of these 2 flame explosions. Whoever can withstand it will win. This attack method is not only dangerous, but also consumes too much animal fire. It seems that it is better not to use it until the critical moment. Lin Feng cleaned up the debris on his clothes, looked at the 2 third-level beast fire seeds that disappeared after the explosion, and said with some distress, although he had used various methods to obtain a lot of beast fire in the Tagore Desert and the Imperial capital, in addition to the 3rd-level beast fires taken out from the bodies of the monsters before, there are only about 50 in total. As for the 4th level, there are only 20 flowers. As for the 5th level, it is the one used before. Excluding the waste when testing fighting skills, it is even less. After a long time, Lin Feng put away the black basalt shield, looked at the black area in the distance, and said to himself, we are about to enter the Black Plains. I will take the 3-stripe green spirit pill first. Let's see. Can you increase your strength and cross that place to go to Canaan College? The danger level is too high. If you can break through the great fighter, it should be much safer. Thinking of this, Lin Feng jumped a few times and entered a cave behind a waterfall. After nearly 2 months of training, and with the assistance of the companion source, he is now an 8-star fighting master. If it weren't for the companion source energy he took, most of it would have been swallowed up by the purple fire and helped it grow. His strength is at least at the peak of a fighting master, but it's not without its benefits. After his careful cultivation these days, the power of purple fire has made great progress. Compared to the beast fire taken directly from the body of a 6th-level monster, it shouldn't be much different. Purple fire used the 3 mysterious transformations of heavenly fire, which was much more powerful than the previous 5th-level beast fire. Sitting cross-legged in the cave, Lin Feng did not rush to take the elixir immediately, but entered into practice, waiting for your own state to reach its peak. After a while, Lin Feng felt that the time was right, so he took out the jade bottle and poured out the 3-line green spirit pill inside. Waves of green and colored elixir fragrance immediately floated out from it and slowly began to hover around him. Looking at the elixir in his hand, Lin Feng murmured, "This elixir is of extremely high quality, and the probability of failure should be extremely small. I hope I won't be the unlucky guy with a small chance." Afterwards, Lin Feng swallowed the pill in one gulp and quickly maintained his cultivation posture. The 3-marked Qing Ling Dan melted immediately in his mouth, and before Lin Feng could react, it quickly transformed into 3 streams of pure energy. Like the rushing river, it rolled down the throat, then he roared angrily and poured into the meridians. The moment the 3 strands of energy entered the meridians, Lin Feng's palm holding the practice mudra trembled suddenly. He discovered that the 3 energies burst out with blazing temperature at this moment, and continued to burn his body along the meridians. This scene caught Lin Feng, who was taking this elixir for the first time, a bit off guard, and he almost fell out of his cultivation state. Fortunately, he reacted quickly and quickly calmed down. Gritting his teeth and enduring the weird pain, he controlled his mind and quickly sank into his body. With a thought, in the whirlpool, waves of surging crimson fighting energy surged out along his meridians. Finally, somewhere in the meridians, the energy of the 3-line Qingling pill collided fiercely. Bang! Hearing the slight muffled sound coming from his body, Lin Feng also let out a low groan in his throat, and a flush flushed on his face. The handprints changed rapidly, and the mind began to guide these 3 energy, which had been washed away by the fighting spirit, and began to move rapidly along the route of the technique. During the operation, the 3 energies were entangled with each other, and they were able to blend together extremely harmoniously. It also released blazing temperatures from time to time, causing the unprepared Lin Feng to suffer a lot. When the 3 energies circulated along the path of the technique, they were once again perfectly integrated into one energy with 3 colors. With the fusion, the volume of energy suddenly increased a lot. The energy that was originally somewhat illusory has now been completely converted into a 3-color liquid. With the increase in volume, Lin Feng could even vaguely hear the excited roar coming from the energy. However, before he could make any move, the 3-color energy in his meridians suddenly began to move wildly through his meridians like a speeding train. Just when Lin Feng was shocked and prepared to take full control, the 3-color energy suddenly trembled, and countless small energy pillars separated from it. Finally, under Lin Feng's dumbfounded gaze, the energy surged from all directions along the meridians in his body. Even some meridians that Lin Feng had never touched before were rudely knocked in by the random collision of energy. The brutal impact caused bursts of pain to pass through Lin Feng's meridians. On his forehead, cold sweat caused by pain began to slowly slide down. The corners of Lin Feng's mouth twitched suddenly, and his entire face became distorted at this moment. Hissing cold breath came out from between his teeth. In the body, countless small strands of energy, with a momentum like a bamboo, savagely rushed into some narrow meridians that Lin Feng had never reached. Energy whizzed by like a river, and the narrow meridians expanded rapidly, and tiny cracks appeared on the walls of the meridians. From the cracks, a faint light sputtered out, which was a sign that the meridians could not help but expand violently and were about to burst. Just as the cracks in the meridians gradually expanded, the tail of the 3-color tiny energy whizzing by dropped countless energy liquids along the way. These hot liquids quickly adhered to the walls of the meridians that were about to be broken, and then penetrated, and with the penetration of energy liquid, those cracks actually began to slowly shrink. After a while, the cracks in the meridians disappeared completely. However, the meridians that were previously so small that they could only accommodate a small amount of energy had completely changed their appearance. A scene similar to this was happening in the countless meridians in Lin Feng's body at this moment. Although the severe pain almost made his eyes black, the meridians that quickly became wider and tougher made him understand that as long as he persisted, it would be of great benefit to him. Once these tiny meridians are opened, his ability to mobilize fighting energy will undoubtedly be much faster in the future. And in battle, if you can direct your fighting spirit like an arm, you will have a great advantage. The differentiated energy, after opening up a small meridian, continued to rush forward, and only a low sound was heard. A small three-color energy column suddenly spurted out from the pores on the surface of Lin Feng's body. Shortly after the first sound, Lin Feng's body suddenly began to tremble continuously. On the surface of his body, streams of three-color energy surged out from his body like a fountain. For a moment, he looked like a kettle with countless holes. Shao Kai, who was sleeping curled up on Lin Feng's arm, was also awakened by this energy. He hurriedly jumped into the air and looked at Lin Feng, who turned into colors in front of him without knowing why. The energy spurt only lasted for a few seconds before disappearing completely, but after the energy disappeared, some blood slowly seeped out from those pores that spurted out tiny energy pillars. Drops of blood rolled down, soaking half of Lin Feng's body, and those pores that were opened slowly began to return to normal. However, Lin Feng could feel it very clearly. Whenever he transforms into a cultivation seal, the pores that are opened up and connected to the meridians are like a wind tunnel. At a speed that is more than 10 times faster than before, it is absorbing energy from the outside world crazily. As time passed, the small meridians that were open gradually stopped suffering from severe pain. Lin Feng also breathed a sigh of relief when he felt this scene. Finally, I can no longer be distracted and focus completely on the largest three-color energy that is still rushing along the route of the technique. Focusing on the seemingly tireless three-color energy, Lin Feng ran his skills and continued to refine this huge energy. Under the influence of the technique, wisps of energy liquid that had lost its wildness and fiery energy slowly separated from the main body. Finally, it was completely converted into pure liquid energy by the technique and poured into the cyclone. Under the infusion of wisps of energy liquid, in the cyclone, there is red liquid energy. It was rising suddenly at an almost shocking speed. As expected of the 3 patterns Qingling pill, it is so powerful. Looking at this scene, Lin Feng was slightly surprised. He could find that at this time, his strength was about to break through the Great Dou Master barrier, but the medicinal power of the 3 patterns Qingling pill still has nearly 1/3. The 3-color energy liquid circulates rapidly through the meridians. Every time the cycle is completed, a large amount of refined energy will be injected into the cyclone. At this moment, the volume in the cyclone will suddenly increase a lot. Chapter 87 2-Star Great Fighter. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 87 2-Star Fighter. As time passed slowly, Lin Feng in the outside world was enveloped in a faint crimson brilliance, and these red brilliance cover the body, forming the appearance of a fighting spirit gauze. But this Dou Qi Shai is constantly twisting, as if it is constructing and testing something. Faintly, those Dou Qi gauze clothes that were originally illusory actually appeared to have characteristics similar to real things. At this time, Lin Feng naturally couldn't feel the changes around him. He maintained the greatest control over his mind. At this moment, all his attention was completely focused on the vortex of fighting energy in his body that was about to overflow. Within the body, the cyclone rotates slowly, and within it, the red liquid energy floats like a dam about to release, as if it will overflow from the cyclone that has reached its limit at any time. The cyclone at this time can no longer accommodate any energy. Now its capacity has reached its limit. Let the fighting spirit out. The body slowly landed in a mountain forest and quickly explored it. Immediately afterwards, it began to rebound violently, and Lin Feng compressed the cyclone tightly to prevent it from rebounding, but he didn't care and continued to refine the 3-color energy liquid to consolidate his realm. Finally, the 3-color energy liquid in Lin Feng's body was refined, and his fighting spirit cultivation was completely stabilized at the level of a 2-star battle master. The moment the diamond-shaped crystal appeared, a sound that seemed to break through some barrier came out of Lin Feng's body. Only in this way can we avoid the crisis of cyclone breakout. If it is forced to pour again, the cyclone may burst. After getting familiar with the fighting spirit armor for a while, Lin Feng dismissed it and thought to himself. The cyclone in the body was silent for a moment at first, and then suddenly shrunk in size a moment later. Looking at the broken pebbles on the ground, Lin Feng grinned. infuse it into the Dou Jing inside the cyclone, which is slightly dim due to consumption of fighting energy. Seeing that the owner finally remembered it, the little guy quickly patted his belly with his tail, and then opened his mouth. "Are you hungry? Come on, the 4th grade fiery fire pill." The faint energy fluctuations around Lin Feng gradually weakened until they finally dissipated completely. Sensing the overwhelming feeling of power in his body, Lin Feng had a satisfied smile on his lips, continuously refining the 3-color liquid, and then slowly absorbed the pure energy into Dou Jing. During this continuous refining, the momentum exuded by Lin Feng is gradually becoming stronger. Not long after, with a muffled sound of bang coming from his body, he successfully broke through to the 2-star fighting master. He took out a Qi restoration pill and stuffed it into his mouth. He knitted the seals in his hands and closed his eyes slightly. Immediately, there was a bang, and a small gap was made in the cave wall. Above the body, the flickering light showed the fragility of this newborn creature. A strange wave was transmitted into the Dou Qi gauze that was constantly twisting on the surface of Lin Feng's body. However, Lin Feng didn't have the energy to care about this right now. He was observing Dou Jing's every move in the cyclone, and this so-called solid energy is the secret that allows a strong master to summon a fighting spirit armor that is as solid as a substance. On the surface of Lin Feng's body, a pair of red armor slowly emerged, and finally covered his entire body. As Lin Feng's handprints changed, he violently suppressed the expanding cyclone. In the eyes of many strong men, only after possessing Dou Jing can one truly enter the palace of Dou Qi. Cultivation. A crimson diamond-shaped crystal only the size of a thumb suddenly caught Lin Feng's gaze. In addition, the ice silkworm mask can be broken by a fighting master, and can only be used outside of combat. The soles of the feet carried red light and stepped heavily on the ground. After receiving this wave of fluctuation, the twisting of Dou Qi Shai slowly stopped. Feeling the little snake on his arm, Lin Feng raised the corner of his mouth slightly. As the shouts fell, a red light suddenly appeared on the soles of Lin Feng's feet. Lin Feng felt relieved after not finding any human animal aura. This is a move that has been proven successful by countless predecessors. It is very simple. That is compression. Gaseous energy can be compressed into higher-level liquid energy, and liquid can also be compressed into higher-level solid energy. Putting away the jade bottle again, Lin Feng suddenly saw Shao Kai beside him, touched its little head and said with a smile, "Did I wake you up when I took the elixir?" That he found a sheltered place and sat cross-legged. A soft drink came from his mouth. Explosive step. This guy. After the sky-swallowing python swallowed the pill into its belly, its figure flashed and returned to Lin Feng's arm. It contains a staggering amount of energy, and when the Dou Jing formed in Lin Feng's body, according to the map, this black territory Great Plain is the gateway to the Black Angle territory, and there was not much left of the 3-color energy liquid in Lin Feng's body. Shrink down. As long as you step here, you will enter a chaotic world that is incompatible with the outside. The pitch-black plane is like a black line, completely dividing the outside world from the inside world. Dou Jing is the crystallization of all Dou Qi in a person's body. Immediately jump out of the cave and continue to the black area in the distance. Opening his closed eyes, Lin Feng breathed out a breath. If I guessed correctly, this should be the Great Black Plains. The palm was slightly curled, the fingers were slightly bent, and a faint red light filled the fingertips. Upon seeing this, Lin Feng hurriedly blocked the power of the 3-line Ling pill from the cyclone. The quiet practice lasted for nearly half of the afternoon. Immediately, he felt a sense of comfort emanating from the depths of his soul. This little red crystal is the most crucial thing to become a great fighter. He was stunned for a moment, then raised his head and glanced into the distance, only to see it at the end of his sight. After Lin Feng used the purple cloud wing to fly for several hours, the same mountains below suddenly became denser. Thinking that he had been flying for so long, the fighting energy in his body was also severely consumed. He can see through the disguise and can already use his breath to identify the person coming. It is of no use if he brings it with him, but it may easily cause some misunderstandings. The liquid energy overflowing in the cyclone must be compressed into a solid state before the next wave of energy arrives. With the continuous compression, the liquid energy in the cyclone has gradually bottomed out. Looking at the black line gradually expanding in his sight, a smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. And Lin Feng could feel that after the fusion of purple fire and fighting spirit armor, its defense power was also enhanced. With the 2-star Grand Fighter, coupled with the 3 mysterious transformations of Heavenly Fire, I can still fight even an ordinary Grand Fighter at his peak. So he was going to recover his fighting spirit, and then enter the Great Plains of the Black Territory. Thinking of this, Lin Feng immediately stood up, his feet suddenly twisted strangely, and then he stepped heavily on the ground. In this way, the two sides were in a stalemate for a while. Then, the vindictive cyclone finally couldn't support it and began to shrink in size. As the shrinking continued, Lin Feng's compression became more and more strenuous, and the fighting spirit in the cyclone became more and more intense. At the level of the great fighter, fighting spirit can finally leave the body and is no longer restricted and restrained by the body. It is even more advantageous to fight with others. After a moment, he flicked his fingers, and red energy shot out like a sharp arrow. An instant later, the red light flashed suddenly, and the fighting spirit quickly merged, gathered, and finally merged with each other. Feeling the fighting spirit filling his body again, Lin Feng thought for a moment and decided to give up using ice silkworm Dou. After the little thing was completely stable, Lin Feng carefully controlled the remaining 3-color energy liquid with his mind and continued to move along the skill route. Then he slowly exhaled a breath, and his handprints changed quietly. A strong Dou master is usually called Dou Jing. Taking out the 2 purple heart barrier breaking pills, Lin Feng thought for a moment and decided not to take them until his fighting spirit had settled for a while. A looming suction force quickly sucks the energy in the surrounding space into the body, and then refines it. After all, he can afford to offend someone who cannot see through the ice silkworm skin now. Suddenly, a muffled sound like an explosion exploded between the sole of the foot and the ground. Finally, the red fighting spirit armor was completely painted with purple, turning into a purple-red color. As Lin Feng entered the cultivation state, faint energy fluctuations began to seep out of his body, immediately. Afterwards, Lin Feng mobilized the purple fire in his body, covering the surface of his body and integrating with the fighting spirit armor. After a moment, the brilliance dimmed slightly, and a pair of crimson fighting spirit armor appeared vaguely on the surface of Lin Feng's body. Although this Dou Qi armor has only just begun to take shape, the deep red light and the vague and powerful energy spurt make it clear that it is not comparable to the previous Dou Qi gauze. Finally, it began to faintly transform into a solid state. At this time, Lin Feng's body was undoubtedly racing against time. Lin Feng chuckled, took out 2 red pills, flicked them with his fingers, and accurately fell into Shao Kai's mouth. It slowly floated in the center of the cyclone, silent and motionless. Before such a breakthrough, every fighting master will choose the most correct move based on instinct. Clenching his fists with both hands, fighting spirit slowly surged out. At the same time, Lin Feng's feet seemed to be equipped with ejection devices, and he rushed out almost in the blink of an eye. The speed is as fast as the arrow leaving the string, making people dizzy. He stepped heavily on the ground for several consecutive steps, and every time the sole of his foot fell, there would be a dull explosion sound. This cycle goes on, heading towards the Black Plains. Chapter 88 Black Seal City. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The endless plains, as far as the eye can see, are all monotonous black, set against the slightly dark sky. A depressing and irritating atmosphere lingered over the plain. In such a strange place, it's no wonder that chaotic rules arise. On the quiet plain, a black shadow suddenly shot out from a distance. The speed of the black shadow is extremely fast, and it seems to be teleporting in the blink of an eye. It's just that every time he sets foot, there will be an explosion like a muffled thunder, which will form into ripples, spread over the plain, and finally gradually fade away. While running at full speed, the figure suddenly raised his head slightly, revealing a handsome young face. It was Lin Feng, who had traveled thousands of miles away. At this time, he was looking at the empty plain with a frown, and murmured in a low voice, "This damn place is too big. I haven't seen a single person in the plain for so long, and there is nothing here. It's black and it's really depressing." After continuing to run for nearly half an hour, within the line of sight, a small black dot finally appeared faintly. After getting the information he wanted, Lin Feng threw the bag to the man and prepared to walk towards the resting place of the caravan that the man mentioned. After all, in this great black plain, there is a lot of chaos. "Boy below, are you a rookie who has just entered the Black Corner territory? You don't even know the rules of making offerings 100 meters away before entering the tribe? Can The other people in the caravan didn't show any surprise when they saw the boss's appearance. One bad thing is that people are killed and goods are robbed. If someone has a wife, the end will be even more miserable. The fat man from before looked at the looming black shadow of the city in the distance and said to Lin Feng respectfully. And at the foot of the mountain, a huge city made of dark boulders appeared with a vague outline, and Lin Feng also knew that the location he was currently in was the northern area of the Black Corner domain. The fence above the wooden door also shattered, and the man standing above, who only had the strength of a fighter, let out a painful wail. A long arrow suddenly shot through the air and struck hard on the grass in front of him. Lin Feng didn't have the time to talk nonsense with him. He sneered and immediately used his explosive step to rush towards the door. In short, this area is full of death, challenges and temptations. Sir, ahead is our destination, Black Seal City, which is under the jurisdiction of the 8 gates. Of course, you have just arrived in the Black Corner territory, so you may not know much about the situation here. These 8 gates are under the jurisdiction of the Black Corner territory. The old forces are extremely powerful, and it is said that their leader Yuan Yi is ranked in the top 10 on the black list of the Black Horn region, and is a strong man in the Douhuang realm. After walking a short distance, he grabbed a random passerby and asked, "Where is the team going to the Black Corner domain?" That he gradually slowed down and then walked slowly towards the tribe gate. Walking not far from the gate, Lin Feng glanced around and found that this tribe was actually not small. Hee. The body was covered with sawdust, which also flew out with the door. Lin Feng nodded. He knew all this, so naturally he would not have a surprised expression. Fatty was also very happy to see that he could add a master to his caravan, and hurriedly invited Lin Feng to his station, then continued to talk about some other information about the Black Corner domain. Just as Lin Feng was about to turn around, a fat man jumped out in a hurry and said with a smile. When the man saw Lin Feng's actions, his face was filled with shock. He didn't expect that the young rookie below would actually do this. They smiled and glanced at the corpse sleeping peacefully at the gate. There was no pity in their eyes. They just sighed and praised, "Hey, this young man is really ruthless. He kills people neatly and without any hesitation. That's enough. Man, it seems that he can live quite comfortably in the Black Corner territory." Of course, there are also a large number of strong people coming from outside every day. There is only one reason: they survived here. Lin Feng was too lazy to look for a team and agreed, "Of course, the premise here is that when you're happy, you'd better choose a good partner, otherwise, the end may be quite miserable. I just heard that the powerful forces there are no weaker than those in the northern region." After the convoy left the Great Black Plains, it gradually slowed down a bit. They were already in despair. The strongest master in his caravan was only a 5-star fighting master, so how could they deal with him? However, as a well-known black market in the northwest continent, the originally chaotic crowd became strangely quiet when they saw the slowly approaching murderer, leaving only the footsteps of a young man walking slowly. After driving along the mountain road for nearly 2 hours, we finally crossed a mountain in the afternoon. "Then you come with me, I'll leave in a while." Dots of white tents appeared in Lin Feng's field of vision. After all, no matter what, these kinds of things are always necessary things that even they are greedy for. What happened? How can I eat the food I finally made? Ah. As it gets closer, the small black dot gradually expands. Is this gentleman going to the Black Corner domain? The heavy wooden door turned into countless debris under Lin Feng's heavy blows, and was shot towards the crowd inside. When Lin Feng slowly disappeared around the corner of the street, the crowd here had just returned to liveliness. When the fat man saw this, he was even more shocked. Lin Feng didn't expect that the man in front of him could stay calm after hearing the powerful Dou Huang. Is this a small tribe? At this moment, following your heart is the best choice. Among them, there are at least nearly 100 tents of various sizes. It can be seen from the constantly swinging arrow tail that the person who fired the arrow must have no intention of keeping anyone alive. Although most of these things are invisible and can easily cause trouble after being purchased, they still attract many powerful people from the continent. Originally the man wanted to get angry, but after feeling the strong force on his shoulder and the small bag of gold coins in front of him, he hurriedly smiled and replied, "Sir, there are many caravans heading to the Black Corner territory over there. Rest here and you can find them." And judging from the constant noise inside, it seems to be quite popular inside. After all, in the Black Corner domain, women may sometimes be more terrifying than men. Tap. What's wrong with me? As for the southern part of the Black Corner territory, their caravan has never been there and doesn't know much about the situation there. Black Corner territory, this is an extremely pure territory. After all, not long after they set out yesterday, they encountered several robbers belonging to high-level fighting masters. Take me there. What's the price? Of course, if you want to get these, you not only need a lot of money, or exchange natural and earthly treasures with others, but you also need to have strong strength. Lin Feng glanced sideways at the unfamiliar fat man and said calmly, otherwise, you can buy something, but you may not have the life to use it. Therefore, this also leads to a large number of strong people dying here every day. Most of the forces entrenched here are the forces he knows, such as Black Seal City, Maple City, Dian Sect, Qianyao Fang, etc. As long as you want to, even if you are playing with women in the street, no one will stop you. If they can survive in this chaotic Black Corner domain, they naturally know that the young man in front of them is not something they can afford. As the long arrow hit the ground, a man appeared on the fence and shouted ferociously, that would allow them to take a further step on the road to becoming strong. In view of this situation, the more experts he has in his caravan, the greater the chance of delivering the goods safely to the buyer. At the four gates of the city, you can still vaguely see densely packed small black dots, like ants, gathering and pouring into the huge dark mouth of the city. The fat man heard the directness of the strong man in front of him and hurriedly smiled and said, I won't beat around the bush with you. When you were at the gate of the tribe, you saw that you are quite strong. I can take you through the Black Territory plains and into the inner Black Corner. However, as a reward for taking you out of the Great Plains, you need to help my caravan when it encounters trouble. How about that? Oh, but Lin Feng stepped out and quickly killed the robbers who were high-level fighting masters. But Lin Feng, who had already left, naturally didn't know these comments. The tip of his toes tapped the ground, and his figure was like a black shadow, rushing toward the small tribe like lightning. There is an influx of high-level techniques, fighting skills, elixirs and other rare items every day. You can get a volume of skills that are more advanced than what you have practiced, or a pill that can quickly increase your strength. As he slowly approached the tribe's gate, Lin Feng suddenly paused and took a few steps back. After speaking, the man pointed in the direction. After running for nearly 2 or 3 minutes, the tribe finally appeared in Lin Feng's eyes. Then, no one in the entire caravan dared to treat Lin Feng casually. Seeing Lin Feng rushing over like this, the man seemed to understand something. He raised his eyebrows and a strange look flashed in his eyes. Such temptation is fatal to anyone. Seeing the figure faintly appearing in the distance, I thought to myself, if it weren't for the fact that prices in the Black Corner territory were 3 times higher than outside, and there were huge profits in the process, he wouldn't want to come. The motorcade roared down from the top of the mountain. 10 minutes later, it approached the dark city gate. The speed gradually began to slow down, and then it lined up behind the flow of people, quietly waiting for the team to enter. Standing in front of the carriage, Lin Feng looked up at the huge dark city wall and glanced at the 3 characters Black Seal City in the center of the city gate. His eyes slowly moved down, and finally stopped at the dozen or so men in black clothes at the city gate. They seem to be like the city defenders from the outside world, but here, anyone who enters must pay a large amount of money to enter the city. Chapter 89 The Third Residual Picture. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 89 The Third Residual Picture. While waiting to enter the city, Lin Feng was able to experience the special customs of the Black Corner territory, fighting to the death on the street, robbing things, having sex in the street. It's really all there. Although he has read the original work and knows some of the situation here, but when I actually saw it, I couldn't help but be stunned. After a while, the convoy arrived at the front. After the fat man paid a large amount of money to enter the city, he entered the city. After that, Lin Feng separated from the caravan and wandered alone on the street, but just after walking less than a mile, we encountered 5 or 6 shopping incidents, and he himself also experienced a robbery. However, after he killed the 4-star fighting master with one move, no one dared to step forward to stop him. After all, those who robbed here were basically people from the level of fighters to masters. Who dared to stop him? As for the big fighting masters, they are the leaders of some small bandit groups. Generally, they will only take action after a big fish appears, and they will not just go to the streets to rob. As for fighting spirits, they can be low-level elders in some large forces. Who would hang out with these fighters and masters? After a while, Lin Feng looked at the giant auction house that appeared in front of him and couldn't help but let out a sound of exclamation. Compared with the Black Seal auction house in front of them, the previously luxurious Mitre auction house instantly became like a bumpkin. At the gate of the Black Seal auction house, dozens of men in black suits with indifferent expressions were wearing sharp weapons on their waists. Their sharp eyes like eagles were constantly scanning the flow of people coming and going. Judging from the auras faintly seeping out of these men's bodies, 5 of them are at the level of fighting masters, and the others are also at the peak level of fighting masters. This auction house looks really good. When I become stronger in the future, I will also build one. In this way, not only can I help myself collect the medicinal materials and exercises I need, but I can also make money by auctioning the elixirs I refined. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. After staying for a while, Lin Feng looked at the endless stream of men in black robes. He did not go in directly, but walked to the side alley. He also put on a black robe underneath, waited for a while, and then walked to the Black Seal auction house. Entering the auction house, Lin Feng looked at the extremely wide hall, determined the direction, and walked towards the trading room next to it. After pushing open the door and walking in, Lin Feng discovered that there were a large number of small secret rooms inside. This Black Seal auction house is really thoughtful. It knows that these people in the Black Angle region need to keep secrets, so it has built so many secret rooms. With a secret whisper, Lin Feng immediately walked into a secret room with a vacant sign on the door. Entering inside, Lin Feng found that there was a special light in the small secret room, so the light was not as dim as he imagined. When someone arrived, an old man with slightly white hair was looking over Lin Feng with sharp eyes. However, since the latter was almost completely hidden in the black robe, he could not get any useful information. In addition, here in the Black Corner territory, wearing a black robe during a transaction means that he does not want the other party to detect him, and it is difficult for him to use his fighting spirit to sense the other party's aura. Guest, please take a seat. Do you need to sell or want to buy something? The old man also politely extended his palm to the chair opposite the wooden table in front of him, inviting Lin Feng to sit down, and asked at the same time. Nodding slightly, Lin Feng sat down and said, I want a 5th level beast fire. Do you have it? Although this kind of beast fire is relatively difficult to find, our Black Seal auction house still has the strength. This is the price. The old man chuckled, and then said with a little pride. How many? 600,000. When Lin Feng heard this, the corners of his mouth twitched slightly. Even if the prices in the Black Corner territory were high, they would not be so high. Beast fire is not like the magic core. You must kill the magic beast to obtain it. The 5th level monster's IQ has been opened and it can think normally. As long as you can come up with the right items, you can trade with the monsters and get the beast fire. Although his real target was not the beast fire, he certainly did not want to be taken advantage of, and said displeasedly, it's too expensive. Hey, our guests don't know. In order to hunt down that 5th level monster, we lost several masters, and the selling price was related to his commission, so the old man immediately started talking nonsense. Lin Feng pretended to think for a long time, and seemed to have made up his mind. He gritted his teeth and said, well, I personally like to take risks and hunt for treasures everywhere. If you can find an ancient thing or a treasure map, I will agree to this. Trade. After hearing this, the old man frowned. Generally speaking, good ancient objects are worth hundreds of thousands less. If you use something like this, the boss will not agree to the deal. By the way, ancient things, that thing just can't be sold. The old man suddenly thought of the incomplete picture that their auctioneer complained about 2 months ago. That thing, with a low price of 100,000 gold coins, couldn't be sold after several auctions, so it might as well be used to complete this transaction. Immediately he smiled at Lin Feng and said, guest, since you sincerely want a trade, we reluctantly agreed. The price is 600,000, and a treasure map will be given as a gift. Although the treasure map is slightly damaged, you are so lucky. Okay, I'll probably find a treasure too, what do you think? When Lin Feng heard this, he guessed that the treasure map was the demonic fire remnant map. Thinking of this, I couldn't help but get a little excited, but then he thought that he had not seen the real thing in the old man in front of him, so he hurriedly suppressed his emotions, nodded and said, "Okay, I'm too lazy to look elsewhere." "Okay, guest, wait a moment, I'm going to get something." After saying that, the old man left the room, and Lin Feng didn't know if there was surveillance here, so he didn't dare to make any other moves, he just waited quietly. Squeak. After a while, the old man turned back, holding a large transparent jade bottle and an ancient rag of cloth in his hand. Lin Feng's eyes lit up when he saw the broken picture, and the corners of his mouth couldn't help but raise. However, he kept looking at the beast fire, only occasionally glancing at the residual image with his peripheral vision. The old man put the things on the wooden table, and then introduced, "Guest, this is the 5th level beast fire, and there is this treasure map. Please take a look." Lin Feng, of course, found fault with the residual picture again, and finally nodded in agreement reluctantly. After transferring the gold coins, take the items and leave the secret room. After walking out of the auction house, Lin Feng touched the ring excitedly. He has now collected 3 of the 4 remaining demon fire pictures. Even if you can't get the pure lotus demon fire in the future, you can trade it for heaven level skills, 1 for fighting skills, and 1 for medicinal refining supplies. It's a pleasure. He took out the map he had captured when he killed the robbers, looked at it, and then walked in the direction of Canaan College. In the mountain forest, a road leads straight ahead, and on both sides, there are endless dense jungles. Lin Feng walked quickly on the only road. Suddenly, he slowly slowed down, and the purple fire in his body suddenly surged toward specific meridians. Then, his aura quickly rose from a 2-star battle master to a 3-star and a 4-star. Finally, he managed to step into the 7-star fighter master. And at some point, a pair of purple-red armor appeared on his body. Purple flame, crazy lion flame. Before the man following behind him could react, Lin Feng suddenly took out a black iron spear, and then a giant energy lion with wings suddenly struck in one place. When he was experimenting with fighting skills on the way to the Black Horn territory, he discovered that the purple fire on the amethyst-winged Lion King unexpectedly matched perfectly with the crazy lion flame. Because this fighting skill is basically about condensing lion-shaped projections to attack, the purple fire happened to be condensed within the body of the 6th-level lion monster, carrying a trace of the power of the lion monster. The combination of the two is even more powerful. Boom! As Lin Feng used all his strength to unleash the giant purple lion, it hit a jungle, and a scream suddenly echoed in the jungle. A figure flew out suddenly with such force that it broke several big trees one after another before slamming into the trunk of a giant tree and stopping. Damn! One of my companions dies, and now the bonus will be deducted in half. A few hundred meters away, the old man, who was not prepared to take action, did not expect that Lin Feng would suddenly attack them in turn, so he could only curse. He quickly jumped down from the branch and attacked Lin Feng. Oops, why is there another one? Why couldn't I sense him before? Seeing the old man who was about 50 years old, Lin Feng secretly thought something was wrong and hurriedly jumped away from the place. When the old man saw Lin Feng quickly distance himself, he did not continue to attack. Trash, I asked you to kill a 2-star fighting master, but you will be killed in return. Glancing at the man on the ground, the old man could only curse at the body when he saw that he was no longer breathing. Then, thinking of Lin Feng's sudden surge in strength, he thought to himself, did this kid just take some kind of pill that can make people's strength skyrocket? Suddenly, he thought of the fighting skill Lin Feng had just used. The old man turned his head and looked at Lin Feng beside him with fiery eyes. Although he didn't know what the purple lion's fighting skills were, but I know this kid in front of me. Just now, with that fighting skill, I was able to kill the 9-star fighter with one move. Of course, there were also his men involved, which was why he was attacked unprepared, but the power of that fighting skill cannot be underestimated, and its power has obviously exceeded that of the advanced Xian level. Thinking that it might be the legendary Earth-level fighting skill, the old man licked his lips, his face full of greed, thinking of Lin Feng's extremely fast speed just now. He immediately smiled and said, "Boy, give me that fighting skill, and I won't hold you accountable for killing my men. How about that?" But in his mind, He thought that when the kid in front of him gave him his fighting skills, he would try to see if he could kill him, and maybe he could receive half of the bonus. Lin Feng, on the other hand, stared at the old man in front of him carefully. After sensing the opponent's strength, he should be a fighting spirit. He was secretly surprised that with his current soul perception, it was impossible not to be able to sense the old man in front of him. Chapter 90 Killing Dou Ling Alone. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 90 Killing the Spirit Alone. Okay, but you have to tell me first that I have no enmity with you. Why are you following me? Suppressing his panic, Lin Feng asked lightly. As he spoke, he also sneered in his heart. Although he didn't know the origin of the old man in front of him, if he really handed over the mad lion, the other party would definitely not let him go, but you still have to ask where you came from first, so that if you want to take revenge in the future, you can find the place. After all, this old man obviously does not look like a lone ranger, but more like a member of a certain force. At the same time, his soul perception was searching for the old man with all his strength to prevent the latter from disappearing from his perception. After all, he hadn't noticed this person all the way before, which made him particularly nervous. Boy, it seems that you are stubborn. Today I will let you know that fighting spirit is not something that a great fighting master like you can compare with. That when he heard Lin Feng inquire about his origin, the old man knew that his intention had been discovered and shouted angrily, "Dark attributes are good at hiding, and families or forces with this attribute generally have methods of concealment. The combination of the two makes it extremely difficult to detect." Lin Feng immediately ignored Lin Feng and quickly began to suppress this power. The energy in the two flames also began to gradually become violent. Not long after Lin Feng left, a man in black flew quickly from a distance to the place where the former fought with the fighting spirit. Ahem, it is indeed the 5th level beast fire. This power is much stronger than the 3rd level and 4th level ones I experimented with before. Fortunately, I have the Haishin inner armor given by Yun Yun. Otherwise it will probably be uncomfortable for a while. Finally, waves of blazing energy hit his body, causing him to hit a giant tree heavily. Looking at the rapidly expanding ball of fire in his hand, Lin Feng, who had experienced many explosions, knew that it was about to explode. When the old man came closer, Lin Feng's fingers suddenly showed a golden light, and then he pointed at the old man, and due to the high temperature, the exposed flesh and blood has turned black. In this case, it is estimated that the opponent can be blown to pieces. Ah! You little bastard! Damn it, I lost my concealment technique. How can I explain it to the sect master? But if everyone does this, naturally no one will tell it. Suddenly, the man in black looked at the empty fingers of the corpse, his pupils narrowed. Good chance. Although these actions are well known to the big forces. Through the heart finger, the man hummed, and his fighting spirit wings slowly dissipated and landed next to the fighting spirit's body. Seeing the palm print approaching, Lin Feng did not dare to neglect, and quickly used his skills to mobilize the fighting spirit in his body. Lin Feng looked at the mess in front of him and couldn't help but murmur. When Lin Feng saw this, he immediately understood the reason why he couldn't find the old man, especially the beast fire I bought not long ago. It was damaged before it was warmed up. However, Lin Feng had no time to offend him. Seeing that the beast fire was about to explode, he quickly threw the fireball towards the old man not far ahead. As the fighting energy flowed rapidly in the body, a giant purple lion suddenly appeared in the air again. Damn it, luckily I put a few Qi restoration pills in my mouth in advance. The amount of fighting energy required to suppress this 5th level beast fire is probably too great. Lin Feng naturally knew that this power could not kill a fighting spirit, but it also created an opportunity for him and hurriedly took a few Qi restoration pills. Their shadow team is usually responsible for killing some strange customers, and then getting the items from their hands back, and then selling them after a period of time. As soon as the old man jumped up, he felt a sharp force inside his body, destroying everything in his body. The palm print also became a little thinner, and then the remaining energy continued to attack forward. The fighting spirit also felt threatened at this time and immediately said in horror. Hiss. Although Lin Feng was as far away from the explosion point as possible, he still suffered a violent impact. However, the shadow team's concealment method was the one that their sect leader often used during the Douang period. As the fighting skills of the two collided, the fighting spirit of both sides began to collide violently, coupled with the cause of the explosion. The penetrating force in his body could not be completely suppressed, causing extremely serious damage to his various internal organs. As time passed, the two beast fires slowly merged together under pressure. What the hell is this violent energy? All the energy contained in the two fifth-level beast fire seeds was suddenly released at this moment. Naturally, Lin Feng would not let him escape, and hurriedly used explosive steps to follow him. Feeling the power that does not belong to themselves, the beast fires began to reject the other party's flames. Sensing the aura that had not yet dissipated in the air, he slowly said, "The strength is no more than Dou Ling, and there are three kinds of beast fires, but one of them should be in the direction of Hepping Town above level 5. Looking in the direction of Canaan College, the man in black's eyes flashed with solemnity. Ignoring the distressed animal fire, he held a jade bottle in each hand and, driven by the explosion of fighting energy under his feet, he quickly approached the fighting spirit. Oh! As the old man finished speaking, a dark black palm print several meters high suddenly appeared in the air, and then pressed towards Lin Feng not far away, but Lin Feng quickly used his fighting spirit to press them together, making it impossible to escape. If the person who escaped said that they secretly intercepted and killed customers in Black Seal City. Glimpse palm. Lin Feng followed Xiao Kai's gaze, looked at the empty sky, and immediately stood up. All kinds of injuries are superimposed together, resulting in this miserable appearance. When Lin Feng saw this scene, he sighed again. Not only was a layer of skin peeled off the ground, but the surrounding trees also broke and fell to the ground, as the two of them chased each other. After Lin Feng swallowed the last Qi restoration pill in his mouth, the fireball in his hand also reached a critical point. Looking at the violent two-color flame, he quickly turned around and ran away, but the pain from the impact on his back made him grin a little and said with a wry smile, "Sure enough, the gap between Dou Ling and the great Dou Master is not so easy to close. What's more, the person in front of him is at least intermediate fighting spirit." However, there was a price for leaving. A strong fighting spirit suddenly hit Lin Feng's chest, causing him to fly backwards for more than 10 meters, touching the light blue inner armor that had been revealed. I couldn't help but think of the burning technique that could neutralize the repulsive force of flames. Immediately he sat on the ground and took a healing medicine. Boy, die. What is this? And on the originally smooth road, a large pit several meters deep suddenly appeared. The force generated by the joint explosion caused the soil on the ground to be instantly impacted dozens of meters into the air. If this spreads out, many people will definitely remember it. The nearby trees were not spared either, and the originally dense jungle all disappeared, leaving only the remains of sawdust flying in the sky. It won't be like now, relying entirely on the experience of being bombed and some luck. During the battle, everyone will be bombed. Fortunately, although these things are hidden, he can expel them all in just a few seconds. The jade bottle was smashed together by Lin Feng with great force and shattered instantly. Although the quality of Lin Feng's fighting skills is temporarily at its peak, there is still a big gap in fighting spirit levels after all. Oh. Ha, I can't rely on you for everything. The gap isn't so big. I should just do it by myself, just to gain experience. Click. Lin Feng could only hold on for less than 3 seconds before he was hit backward by this force, and then used his body fighting skills to dodge to the side. Then he walked quickly towards the fighting spirit, killed him with one palm, took off the ring from his hand, and then left with Xiao Kai. Since his legs were not protected by inner armor, Lin Feng endured the burning pain in his legs and stood up tremblingly. Somebody is coming. The Dou Ling who was closest to the explosion point was paralyzed on the ground and kept cursing Lin Feng, the instigator. He originally wanted to trick him into using his fighting skills, but now, he could only find a way to kill the kid in front of him, and then see if he could find it in Neji. Wiping away the blood from the corner of his mouth, he only suffered some minor injuries thanks to the protection of Haixin's inner armor. Feeling the sharp decrease in fighting energy in his body, Lin Feng hurriedly swallowed one of the Qi restoration pills in his mouth. Immediately, Lin Feng could no longer suppress the violent energy inside, and his hands were quickly opened. When the old man saw the extremely unstable and violent fireball, he sternly cursed, "You little bastard, don't get involved with me even if you want to die." Due to the lack of perfect protection, his body was bruised and the fat in his body was also exposed. Some people with low levels dare not come to their auction house, and the two precious 5th-level beast fire seeds inside also collided heavily. The moment he saw Lin Feng jump away, the old man knew that his fighting skills could not hit anyone, so he immediately left the place and shot towards him. But thinking about the two beast fires that were damaged in the explosion, my heart couldn't help but twitch. Seeing the trouble this fighting spirit had caused, the man in black wanted to kill him again. First, the blackstone shield in front of him was broken, then the shield formed by the outward release of fighting energy, and then the fighting energy armor. Not long after, a thunderous noise came from the jungle. Dark attribute. No wonder. Then he quickly took out the black basalt shield, unfolded his purple cloud wings, and began to retreat rapidly. Boom! A pair of dark black armor suddenly appeared on his body. Whoosh! While Xiao Kai was enjoying Lin Feng's touch, she suddenly felt an aura approaching and hurriedly raised her head to notify the former of the imminent danger. Explosive step. A 9-star fighting master and a 5-star fighting spirit can't handle this thing well. What a waste! At the moment of confrontation, a large amount of fighting spirit sputtered towards the surroundings. More than 1,000,000 gold coins disappeared without a trace in just one moment. Lin Feng gently touched the latter's little head and smiled softly. As the purple lion collides with the dark palm print, the quality and quantity of the former's fighting spirit are obviously inferior to that of the latter. If he had that skill, he could remotely control whether the flame exploded or not. Xiao Kai, who appeared in the air at some point, angrily gestured at Lin Feng with his tail a few times, indicating that this kind of 5-star fighting spirit can now tail one. After the penetrating power secretly merges with the opponent's fighting spirit, and then enters the opponent's body, it quickly breaks away from contact. In the end, the palm print had no effect other than turning a jungle into a clearing. If he hadn't been able to control the timing of the flame explosion, he wouldn't have let the fighting spirit run a short distance at the last moment. Then the profits of their Black Seal City auction house will drop a lot. In this case, the sect leader might take him, the captain of the shadow team, out to light a sky lantern. No, I'm going to have people search everywhere now. The man must be killed very quickly. Thinking of this, the man in black spread his wings and quickly flew to Black Seal City. Chapter 91 Life Devouring Pill. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiao Kai, have you found a safe cave? Lin Feng sat under the shade of a tree, looked at the sky-swallowing python that suddenly appeared next to him, and asked. Hearing this, Xiao Kai nodded her little head, and then pointed her tail to the side of the mountain. Okay, let's go. Seeing Xiao Kai find a safe place to recuperate, Lin Feng stood up and flew over there. Due to the fast-flying speed, Lin Feng followed Xiao Kai to a dense jungle under a cliff. Looking at the thick vines in front of him, Lin Feng twitched his lips. He really didn't know how the little guy found this cave. He stood at the entrance of the cave. If no one reminded him, he might not know that there was a cave here. Pushing away the vines, Lin Feng could only see clearly the situation near the cave entrance because the plants above the cave entrance blocked the sunlight. Slowly walking inside, as the vines covered the entrance of the cave again, it fell into darkness. Lin Feng took out a moonstone, and the faint light immediately dispelled the darkness. The appearance inside the cave also reflected in Lin Feng's eyes. The cave is quite spacious overall, and there are some stone furniture. It looks like someone has lived here for a period of time. Huh? What is this? Looking around, Lin Feng suddenly saw some items on the stone table in the center of the cave. Jade bottle? It looked so strange. Could it be that the previous senior was an alchemist? For safety reasons, Lin Feng put his hand into his sleeves and picked up a slightly weird transparent bottle through his clothes. Taking a closer look, 2 red pills appeared in his eyes. Each pill is about the size of a dragon's eye and looks extremely mysterious, just like a transparent bead filled with blood. In the center of the elixir, a bit of blood glowed especially dark red. Looking faintly, it looked like a tiny eye, and the whole thing gave off a strange feeling. Lin Feng stared closely at the blood-red pill. With the help of his excellent soul perception, he seemed to be able to faintly notice that this elixir was slightly different from ordinary things. But what is the difference? It is impossible to say. As his eyes swept over the mouth of the bottle, Lin Feng was immediately startled. I saw some traces of energy drawn on the bottle cap. If you look closely, it seems to have the effect of some kind of seal. Wait a minute, could this pill be a life-eating pill? Seeing the seal, Lin Feng remembered that the high-level elixir had some intelligence and would run around, so it needed to be sealed. Lin Feng hurriedly grabbed the bottle tightly with his other hand, and then used his sleeve to wipe the dust on the surface frantically. Hey, there are words. Lin Feng hurriedly read the label on the bottle. The more he looked behind him, the more unbelievable Lin Feng's expression became. After reading it, Lin Feng was sure that these two pills were the 7th grade peak pill, the life-devouring pill. The life-devouring pill was a strange pill that shocked the entire continent many years ago. It was at the pinnacle level of the 7th grade. The effect of this elixir is that it can forcibly elevate a person around a great fighting master to the level of fighting king in a very short period of time. However, this pill also has a very strong side effect. After becoming a fighting king, you will only have a lifespan of about 3 years. After 3 years, if you want to continue living, you can only take the life-extending Tian Kai Debao for temporary relief. If you can break through the Douhuang realm, you can permanently eliminate the side effects. However, the terrifying thing about this elixir is that it can create geniuses in large numbers. It is conceivable that if a junior of 17 or 18 years old was allowed to take it, then he will change from a person with good talent to a peerless genius in an instant. Later, as long as you can spend some resources on him, you can help extend his life for a few years and push him to become a fighting emperor. Then, in a few decades, it is very likely that a Douzone-level master will appear in your power. In the northwest continent, if those old monsters don't appear, Douzone is basically a ceiling-level figure. In some small cities in central continent, if any force can suddenly have a strong Douzone warrior, that would help her force suppress other opponents, dominate the city, and become the local emperor of one side. After being lost for a moment, Lin Feng swallowed his saliva and looked at the jade bottle in his hand with burning eyes. At this moment, he was even more excited than when he got the residual picture. After all, the residual picture cannot immediately improve his strength, but as long as he takes a life-devouring pill, he can save several years of hard training and immediately become a strong fighter. No, I still have to go to Canaan College. If I eat this, Canaan College will definitely not want me. After all, a Douhuang who only has a lifespan of a few years is of little use to Canaan College. He shook his head and forcibly threw away the thought of taking the life-eating pill. Then, as if he remembered something, he turned to look at Xiao Kai, who was not interested in the life-eating pill at all. I couldn't understand why Xiao Kai turned a blind eye to these two high-level pills. Thinking of this, Lin Feng slowly approached Xiao Kai with the elixir. Seeing the jade bottle approaching, the little guy sniffed it for a while, then ran directly to the side, seeming to hate these two pills. Is this the intuition of the Warcraft? It feels that eating the life-eating pill has no benefits, but has great harm, so it doesn't like it? After thinking about the problem clearly, Lin Feng put the elixir into the Neji, and then looked at the blood-red scroll on the stone table. Picking it up and looking at it carefully for a moment, I found that the scroll was infiltrated with a faint red light, and there was no opening in the hole, just like a solid jade pillar. I can't open a prescription of this level yet, so keep it for now. He thought secretly in his heart and put it next to the life-eating pill. After doing all this, Lin Feng looked at Xiao Kai, who was constantly swimming in the air, and showed a smile. After getting such a good thing, it is natural to reward the little guy who discovered it. With a swipe on a ring, a lotus seed wrapped in rich green light appeared in Lin Feng's hand. The moment the earth fire lotus seed appeared, an extremely rich fire attribute energy immediately spread out. Lin Feng, who had acquired the fire attribute, had his throat squirming and wanted to swallow it in one gulp to improve his cultivation. However, reason told him that even if he was a great fighting master now, if he swallowed it, he might not be able to refine it, and he would end up exploding to death. And Xiao Kai, naturally feeling the extremely rich fire attribute energy, hurriedly ran to Lin Feng's hand and acted coquettishly, hoping that the latter would give it the lotus seeds. You are the hero today, come and eat. Lin Feng touched the soft lotus seeds in the center of the earth, flicked his fingers, and a touch of cyan fell accurately into Xiao Kai's mouth. Not long after the little guy swallowed it, his body suddenly expanded, and then he fell asleep in Lin Feng's hand. Not long after it fell asleep, a burst of intense light burst out from Xiao Cai's body. The dazzling light instantly suppressed the faint light of the moonstone in Lin Feng's hand. The cave was also filled with this light. Lin Feng also narrowed his eyes slightly like a conditioned reflex. The light was fleeting, but only moments after the light appeared, Lin Feng once again felt the sky-swallowing python in his hand, and its body suddenly grew larger. At the same time, Xiao Kai's slightly cool feeling in his hand suddenly disappeared. Instead, there is that nostalgic, elastic softness. Queen, why are you out? Lin Feng hurriedly moved his gaze upwards, saw that perfect and charming face again, and asked in a low voice. Huh? Do you have any objections to this king coming out? Medusa moved back slightly and distanced herself from Lin Feng. As she spoke, she looked at the latter with unkind eyes. At the same time, that perfect body was also wrapped in a red cheongsam. When Lin Feng heard this, he hurriedly said, Hey, you want to come out? How can I have any objection? I just fed the little guy to eat, and I thought there was something wrong with the food. Humph, that thing you just fed has too much energy. It has already fallen into a deep sleep to digest that energy. Seeing that Lin Feng cared about the little guy, Medusa kindly answered his question. However, sensing Lin Feng's fighting spirit level, Medusa was a little surprised and said, Hey, you have been promoted to a 2-star great fighter so quickly, why are you still injured? Lin Feng sighed and said helplessly, If the fighting spirit level is not raised, I'm afraid it will be difficult to survive in this black corner area. I was just ambushed by a fighting spirit and a 9-star fighting master, although I killed them in the end. But also suffered some injuries. Oh, have you reached the black corner territory yet? But you are not bad at all. A 2-star fighting master can actually cross a large level and kill fighting spirits. Suddenly, she thought about the melting pill and looked at Lin Feng with sharp eyes. Listening to your words, it should have been a few months now. You haven't forgotten about collecting the medicinal materials. Judging from her expression, if the latter forgets, he will probably suffer a big disaster. How dare I forget about the queen? Now I have collected the Qing Lu flower and the 8-tomb demonic needle fruit. Lin Feng said as he took out these 2 medicinal materials and threw them towards her. Yes, it seems that you have not forgotten our agreement. Medusa took the 2 jade boxes and inspected them respectively. Feeling the rich energy in the medicinal materials, she nodded with satisfaction. Seeing that the other party was satisfied, Lin Feng thought for a while and thought it would be better to explain it in advance to avoid Medusa's frequent reminders later. Looking at Medusa with a smile on her side, she continued, The remaining 2 are medicinal materials related to the soul. It's not easy to find them. I'm afraid they won't be found in a short time. You have to be mentally prepared. Prepare. Hearing this, Medusa also frowned slightly. Most things related to the soul are difficult to find, and she knows this, but if she delayed it for too long and waited until the 4 old guys in the tribe died, she was worried that the Gama Empire would launch a massive attack on the snake tribe, and then there would be trouble. After thinking for a moment, Medusa looked at Lin Feng and said, You only need to find 2 sets of medicinal materials within 3 years. No problem. Lin Feng nodded. In 3 years, he was still sure to find it. As for where to get the medicinal materials, he has already thought about it. In the inner courtyard of Canaan College, there should be 2 remaining medicinal materials. Seeing how confident Lin Feng was, Medusa nodded slightly, and then her alluring body disappeared in an instant. In the cave, there was only a charming echo. I'll go out and see what kind of place the Black Angle domain is. Just take your time and heal your wounds. Oh, please tell me when you will come back. I have to go to Canaan College. Seeing the Medusa who disappeared after a disagreement, Lin Feng's mouth twitched slightly, and then he had no choice but to take a pill and cross his legs to heal. Chapter 92 Black Imperial City. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Canaan College, as one of the famous high-end institutions in Dou Qi Continent, not only has a large amount of materials needed for cultivation, but also does not have much binding force after graduation. Therefore, a large number of cultivation geniuses flock here every year. It even includes some children of quite powerful families. However, such a college is located in the center of the Black Corner domain, a famous chaotic place in the northwest continent, due to the large number of people. In Canaan College, in order to have enough room to accommodate them, Canaan City was built outside the college, but the Black Corner territory was too chaotic. In order to prevent people with ulterior motives from coming in and causing trouble, a circle of peace town was built outside Canaan City. Such constant expansion has also caused other forces in the Black Horn region to be extremely dissatisfied with Canaan College. In the end, a bloody battle broke out between the two sides, and no one knew the exact outcome. I just know that after the bloody battle, the bodies of two Dou Wangs and a powerful Dou king were hung on a tree at the entrance of Hepping Town. In an almost cruel way, although there was a hint of vigilance hidden in his eyes, there was no major reaction such as panic. His eyes drifted over the dozens of figures, and Lin Feng found that except for the leading middle-aged man. Is this the necromancer tree? Lin Feng thought that if he had the strength of a fighting king and invited Medusa to help, he might be able to get the fallen heart flame. There are various stalls on both sides of the street, and some children are playing and laughing on the street. After all, he can always absorb a kind of strange fire even without the burning technique. Lin Feng searched for a long time and was stunned when he saw this name. Black Imperial City. No, if you want to know the elders of our college, go talk to them yourself. If you don't know them, just do as I say. And Han Feng will go to Canaan College to grab the strange fire. At that time, Lin Feng glanced around and felt that there was nothing different, so he walked towards the town without interest. No, that's the Academy's rules, and I can't violate them. Then why don't we go to the Black Corner territory to look for it first? If we can find some natural and earthly treasures that can extend our lifespan by another 3 to 4 years, I'll be somewhat confident. His eyes slowly swept across the tree, and he saw some corpses hanging directly between the branches. That would have a huge impact on his plans. Although Medusa was traveling with him these days and no one was so bored, Medusa's temper also made him feel uncomfortable. Lin Feng believed in his heart that as long as he could meet those elders, he would have a lot of things in his hands that could impress them. He remembered that this was Mo Tianqing's territory. That even if there are occasional riots, the harassing person will become a corpse and be inserted into the tree of the dead in less than an hour. Boy, there are too many masters at Canaan Academy, so I will go back first. You must remember our agreement. Then I don't know where I can go to meet the elders of your courtyard. The big tree was dark in color, and its crown spread out in all directions, with teeth and claws spread out. Under the afterglow of the setting sun, there was a touch of coldness. Among the other dozen or so people, there were both men and women, but they were all quite young. Judging from their appearance, they were only around 22 or 30 years old. Lin Feng looked up at the streets of the town. There were many pedestrians in the streets. How about I take the life-eating pill now? The passers-by on the street naturally also noticed Lin Feng, who walked in from the town gate. After hearing the middle-aged man's words, Lin Feng stepped forward, slightly cupped his hands and said, "My name is Lin Feng. I came from the Gama Empire to join your school. Here, the chaotic atmosphere in the Black Corner domain is really completely isolated." Looking at Lin Feng, one of the leading middle-aged men said calmly, "Anyone who enters Hepping Town must report his identity, name, etc., otherwise, he will be expelled directly. This is troublesome. I didn't expect that Canaan College would not recruit people from the Black Corner region. No one from the Black Corner region would dare to break into these small towns with murderous intent on their faces." The middle-aged man waved his hand, and a bottle of light red elixir appeared in his hand. Unless his strength can grow to a terrifying height and then be suppressed by force, who knows if the fire elders will kill him, the man from the Black Corner territory, and then take away the strange fire. Slowly approached the small town along this lush road lined with lush trees, and since then, the area around Canaan College has fallen into a peaceful area that is incompatible with the outside world. At this time, these dozen young people were staring at Lin Feng with wary and slightly repulsive eyes. The meaning is already obvious. As long as you can tell him, this pill will still be a reward. Lin Feng thought for a while and decided not to take out the strange fire now, and immediately said, "I wonder if the seniors can help me meet with the elders of your house. Perhaps, I can ask them to help vouch for it." What's more, he still has some thoughts about the fallen heart in Canaan College. Just when Lin Feng was about to ask the middle-aged man in front of him to invite Elder Hua, he took out the strange fire and guaranteed his entry into the academy as part of the deal. Lin Feng took a deep breath and walked down the hillside. Otherwise, he wouldn't want to trade Qinglian's inner fire. Seeing the quality of the jade bottle, the middle-aged man guessed that the value of the contents must be high, but after hesitating for a moment, he still rejected Lin Feng. Walking in the mountains and forests, Lin Feng felt a headache when he thought about Xiao Yan's 3-year appointment in about half a year. The 3 characters Peace Town on it are very ordinary and vulgar. If it were placed in the Black Corner domain, it would be demolished the next day. Hearing this, the middle-aged man glanced at Lin Feng up and down, and then said, "Our Canaan College does not recruit people from the Black Corner region, unless you can find an elder of our college to vouch for you, and to guarantee that there is no force that has joined the Black Corner domain." As soon as I arrived at the entrance of the town, my eyes were attracted by a big tree not far to the left of the entrance of the town. After that big tree was also called the Tree of Death by everyone. He casually glanced at Lin Feng, who was looking at him and others, and said coldly, "Don't worry, this is not a poison, it is just a pill that can sense murderous intent. If you have murderous intentions in the town, then this pill will a red light will emit from your body. Our law enforcement team will follow the red light to find it. After that, leave it under the undead tree as fertilizer. Of course, when you leave the town, you can go to the solution center in the center of the town. You can collect the antidote at the drug distribution point, but once you get the antidote, there will be a law enforcement team supervising you all the way out of the town. Turning around, there is a looming small town at the angle between 2 majestic mountains in the distance. He can take out items worth 7 figures of gold coins in a minute." When Lin Feng heard this, he was stunned and panicked in his heart. If he could not enter Canaan College, Lin Feng murmured softly, thinking of the dozens of robbers he had killed along the way. Thinking of this, Lin Feng immediately took out a map and looked for the most prosperous city nearby. This peaceful and harmonious atmosphere is almost completely different from the one in the Black Corner domain, on a hillside. Medusa saw that she was not far from Canaan College and said something to Lin Feng. As the colored light flashed past, it turned into a small snake again and fell into the latter's hands. Seeing that after trying various methods, nothing worked, Lin Feng could only sigh in disappointment and immediately turned around and left. A moment later, a dozen figures flashed at the gate of the town. Lin Feng continued to ask, but he never took back the jade bottle in his hand. But then he thought that he didn't know Elder Hui at all, nor was he a student of Canaan College. Anyway, he is not short of money at all now, as long as he can use money or use magic cores, fighting skills and other things to offset it. But here, the fanatics who come and go do not dare to have any opinions at all. These young men were all wearing light blue clothes. They looked like students who should be training in the law enforcement team. After all, the more prosperous the place, the easier it is to see high-end items. Like apes, they were flashing towards the gate of the town. Otherwise, when Xiao Yan takes away the strange fire, it will be extremely difficult for him to get it. But thinking about the terrifying side effects of the life-eating pill, I retreated a little. Just when Lin Feng stepped into the town gate, he noticed a strange wave passing over him. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it. This is the center of the Black Corner domain. After saying that, the middle-aged man pushed Lin Feng's hand back. "Excuse me then." Thinking of this, he hurriedly said to the middle-aged man, "Senior, can you be accommodating? I can guarantee that I have not joined any force in the Black Corner domain. If I lie, I will let the college handle it." With that said, he secretly handed over a jade bottle. "If nothing changes, Fallen Heart Flame will break out of the tower in a year and a half." He didn't pay much attention to the strange fluctuation that smelled like testing. About 10 minutes later, Lin Feng stopped at the gate of the town and looked up at the plaque at the gate. The light wind blew, swaying and making a creepy crunching sound. "It is too difficult to be promoted from Dou Wang to Dou Huang within 3 years. The middle-aged man glanced at Lin Feng and said lightly, "You go back, I'm just an ordinary mentor, and I don't know where the elders are." After walking a few steps, a dozen shadows appeared in vain on the tops of the houses in the town. In addition, after reporting each other's names and identities, "Please take this elixir." That time was his only chance to get the Fallen Heart Flame. Looking at Xiao Kai sleeping in his hand, Lin Feng finally breathed a sigh of relief. After thinking about it, I realized that the Gama Empire was also within the enrollment range of the college, and then said, "I remember that your hometown is also within the enrollment range of our college. You should go back to your hometown." When we enroll students next year, you can sign up, but since you have entered the Black Corner domain, you still have to make sure that you have not joined the forces of the Black Corner domain when enrolling. That guy is a 4-star Dou Zong, and he is also one of the top strong men in this Black Angle domain. Then let's go to the Black Imperial City. It should be much stronger than the Black Seal City on the edge of the Black Angle domain. Lin Feng secretly whispered the route, then put away the map, seeing that there was no one around. He summoned Zi and Wing and flew towards the Black Imperial City. Chapter 93 Longevity Royal Jelly. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After 5 days of flying, Lin Feng saw the sudden increase in the number of people below and did not dare to use flying fighting skills again. After finding a remote place, land on the ground and start walking there. As he gradually approached the location of Black Imperial City, Lin Feng also discovered that there were more and more pedestrians on the road leading to Black Imperial City. Moreover, it was different from the Black Seal City that Lin Feng saw when he first arrived in the Black Corner territory. The level of fighting spirit of people here generally starts with great fighting masters. Those below this level are basically invisible except for a few young people. However, the guards around these young people are all fighting spirits, so they are not afraid of being robbed. After walking for several hours, the outline of a huge city loomed at the end of Lin Feng's field of vision. As he approached, the huge city located at the end of the avenue also completely appeared in Lin Feng's eyes. Thinking of this, Lin Feng searched for a while and caught a passerby whose level was lower than his. Compared with those medicinal materials that cannot be swallowed directly, they are undoubtedly much more precious. Thinking of those people in the Black Corner domain, Lin Feng felt that he needed to take the life-eating pill first. The maid saw these high-grade medicinal materials, thought for a while, and then said, "When I saw the items on the second to last page, I couldn't help but be surprised. The former tends to extend lifespan, while the latter tends to improve talents. Those with knowledge can discover that the surface of the city wall is actually covered with a layer of rather rare black mirror stone. If they really had to forcefully collide, and the repulsive force would make the 6th level beast furious, he would probably be the first one to be burned to death." Guest, my name is Xiaoyu. What medicinal materials do you need? I can help you get them. 7th level beast fire. That if he takes the life-devouring pill again and is promoted to the Fighting King, he will have the help of the 3 mysterious transformations of sky fire. The sunlight poured down, even making the black city wall reflect a faint light like a mirror. He was not interested in most of these. Hey, the first auction item is the Xian level intermediate skill. It seems that the Black Emperor sect attaches great importance to this auction. I want it all. After walking out of Qianyafang, Lin Feng began to feel entangled again. The hall is divided into medicinal materials area and elixir area, and in comparison, the elixir area is undoubtedly the one with the largest number of people. Looking at the huge attic pharmacy in front of me, my eyes finally stopped at the 3 characters Qian Yaofang. Exhaling heavily, Lin Feng turned the page of the book with excitement and continued with the auction items, put it in the ring, then walked out of the auction venue and looked for the inn. His eyes scanned the propaganda pasted above, and finally stopped at the last paragraph. Those with purple gold cards can go to the auction venue counter to get the auction item details brochure. Do you have any soul-melting wood, soul-containing flowers, or medicinal materials that can extend your life here? That this Black Imperial City does live up to its name, and its majestic scale does not make it eclipse the Emperor's name. Due to countless years of repeated tempering by the earth, the medicinal power absorbed from it has been continuously refined, making this longevity royal jelly have the effect of prolonging life. If taken, this thing should help him extend his life by 2 to 3 years. By writing it clearly like this, Black Emperor sect is not telling those who are interested that I have something you want here, so hurry up and raise money to buy it. However, some people like to take another free path, killing people and taking wealth. As long as you kill the owner of the item, you can still get the treasure you want. What follows are also some Xian-level martial arts and fighting skills, 6th-grade elixirs, weapons and armors and other items. Show Wang Jelly. But on this road, if you don't have enough strength, you may end up losing your life after a long journey. Sure enough, cities with Dou Zong in charge are far from comparable to those cities controlled by Dou Emperor. At this moment, there are many people surrounding these counters. He secretly made up his mind to get some black mirror stones to make shields if he had the chance. Alas, I haven't found the natural treasure that increases lifespan. Should I take the life-eating pill? However, although the environment in which they grow is similar, their effects are not the same. Moreover, in the next few years, we may be able to find other natural and earthly treasures that can extend our lifespan. It was born deep in the earth and usually absorbs nutrients from the roots of various precious medicinal materials to strengthen itself. 2 servings. Well, it seems like he can't use that level of beast fire yet, but this time he came to find medicinal materials, so he naturally walked towards the medicinal materials area. The medicinal fragrance was so strong that it almost made Lin Feng sneeze violently. A rich medicinal aroma mixed with countless medicinal materials hit his face. After a friendly conversation, we were given the location of the auction house. Lin Feng glanced at the counter, and then said the names of the remaining 2 main ingredients of the fusion pill. After all, there are not many people who don't want treasures like Shou Wang jelly that can extend lifespan. Lin Feng was very disappointed when he heard that there were no medicinal materials that could increase lifespan. When he saw the medicinal materials he urgently needed, he couldn't help but exclaimed. It is also a very good choice for casting city walls. Not only could I not get the things, but my wealth was taken by others. Then, he thought that his black basalt shield could no longer keep up with his pace. Looking at the crowded door, he took a deep breath and squeezed towards there. If possible, it's best to buy some level 6. Is this black Imperial city always so lively? As for the other 2 medicinal materials, we do have the soul-melting wood. But this thing is quite rare, and the Black Emperor sect can use it to cover a city wall. Of course, if he didn't buy it, he wouldn't mind being a robber again, killing people and taking money. I don't know where the Black Emperor sect got this level of beast fire. Rubbing his nose, Lin Feng looked around. Lin Feng looked at the precious black mirror stones and murmured in his heart. He wanted to try his luck there and see if there were any medicinal materials he needed. This longevity royal jelly is a very rare treasure. After strolling down the street and turning 2 streets, Lin Feng's progress slowly stopped. Approaching the door of the auction venue, he saw many red notices posted on the wall. When Lin Feng heard this, he decided to buy them all. In this case, even after he takes the life-devouring pill, he will still have 5 or 6 years to break through the Dou Huang. Walking on the street, Lin Feng looked at the bustling crowd in front of him and couldn't help but twitch his lips. Touching the picture, Lin Feng made up his mind to get the Shou Wang jelly. Seeing this, the maid reminded, guessed, 2 portions cost 1.8 million gold coins. As soon as they entered Qianyafang, the noisy shouting and cursing suddenly weakened a lot. Looking at the various tempting items above, Lin Feng couldn't help but smile and shook his head. Arriving not far from the city wall, Lin Feng looked at the towering city wall in front of him, a flash of wonder in his eyes. Calculating it this way, I feel like I can still give it a try. After all, for people like Black Corner Territory who lick blood from the edge of a knife all day long, a pill can save their lives or can explode in times of crisis. Lin Feng opened a room casually, closed the door, and couldn't wait to check the information about the auction items. I have to thank Hebadong for his contribution to the purple gold card. The pitch-black city wall that stretches to the end has a cold smell. Since most of the people who came to the medicinal area were alchemists, the maid did not dare to neglect them and quickly came forward to ask. This auction is probably going to be another bloody storm. With that said, Lin Feng popped up a purple gold coin card. By the way, there is also beast fire. The only 5th level beast fire that was previously destroyed has been damaged, so I have to buy some spares. Lin Feng chuckled secretly and immediately walked towards the auction venue. After a while, there was an extra book in his hand. By the way, I remember there is an auction house in Black Imperial City. Let's try our luck there. In this way, the next time you encounter a crisis and explode the beast fire, you will be safer. Bring your stuff over here. Looking at the crowded flow of people on the broad street in front of him, Lin Feng inquired about the location of Qian Yaofang. When the maid saw this kind of purple gold card that only the strong Dou Wang could possess, she didn't dare to say anything and hurriedly left. Guest, this is the item you want. When the maid saw this, she also drew the corresponding number of gold coins from the purple gold card, and then returned it to Lin Feng. Putting aside the random thoughts in his mind, Lin Feng continued to walk towards the city gate and started queuing up behind the people entering the city. After queuing for nearly an hour, Lin Feng paid an entrance fee and successfully entered the city. and the more money raised by people like them who are interested in things, the greater the benefits the Black Emperor sect will gain. However, he already had enough Xian-level skills, so he didn't care much and continued to scroll down. Inside the counter, various medicinal materials were neatly placed. Moreover, it also has a closer brother named Earth Center Body Tempering Milk. Otherwise, if you buy it at an auction, it may be robbed later. After hesitating for a while, he decided to squeeze in and take a look at the situation. After squeezing his way to the front of the crowd, Lin Feng was suddenly surprised and said, "Hey, you are so lucky. I just came here and the auction will be held in 2 months." Soon after, the maid returned and put the 2 jade boxes in her hands on the counter. Lin Feng checked it and accepted it after finding no problem. However, he was also somewhat interested in the beast fire. "Well, the medicinal materials you want are relatively rare. We don't have the kind of medicinal materials that can increase lifespan." Lin Feng opened the first page and saw that what was introduced on it was a volume of Xuanjie Kung Fu. After walking for a while, Lin Feng finally saw the extremely large building in the center of the city in front of him. I could see that this extremely spacious hall was filled with many transparent counters. I am afraid that there are not many people with such a strong foundation in the entire Black Corner region. Turning to the last page, what came into view were the words intermediate earth level cultivation technique. After Shao Kai has been fed by him for such a long time, after absorbing all the energy of the lotus seeds in the earth's core, his fighting power should be comparable to that of the peak Do Wang, but thinking that it would be good to find the main ingredient of a spirit-melting elixir, he immediately asked, "How many copies are there?" The city wall made of this material has the miraculous effect of reflecting some attacks. When working together with Shao Kai, even a junior Do Huang can fight for a while. In this case, it is enough to cope with most situations. Thinking of this, Lin Feng stood up and left Black Imperial City, walking towards the mountains and forests in the distance. Thanks to Wen Ku for the tip. Thank you for all your support.